Hey, good morning on this lovely Sunday morning. Today is November 3rd. So, we are getting back into our weekly schedule. And I decided, because I really haven't put up so much over the last couple of days, I would jump on a live stream this morning, Sunday. So happy to have you guys in. A couple things that I do want to mention before I get started here and turn on the camera and get into the subjects that we're going to be talking about for today's podcast. I do want to make mention that the QR code for the Helium mobile promo has been fixed. Shout out to Braganta for basically letting me know on X and DMs that the QR code link was broken. So most people who were scanning the QR code were getting like an error 404. I went ahead and fixed the QR code, so now it is working. For those that would like to try out Helium Mobile, you guys can get your first month for free on me just by scanning that QR code. It'll take you to the page to basically join up with Helium Mobile and then use my promo code, which is also in the description of this. Upon checkout, apply my promo code and your first month will be free on me. So that's my gift to you guys for checking out the podcast. And also, if you guys want to help support the channel, up in the upper left corner, you guys can donate directly to me if you guys want to. But the ultimate thing you guys can be doing is smashing that like button because that truly does help. Secondly, I have to give a weird shout out to Restream.io for being so dorky about this. They just released Halloween themes for podcasters to apply on their stage here on Restream. So it's so weird because Halloween is already gone. We don't have Halloween anymore. It's already passed. So I thought they would have gone with the whole Thanksgiving theme and maybe done some, background wallpapers that has to do with that. But hey, it is what it is. Anyways, good morning to you as well. Thank you for stopping by, jumping in, listening if you're still here. However, the show must go on. So first off, while I'm waiting for more and more people to be alerted that I am live and if they want to come in and watch, let me just kind of give you guys a little bit of a backstory here as to, how things went down for Halloween. I will have timestamps in the description after the podcast is over for those that are on the replay crew. If you guys want to just jump straight to the subjects, I'll have those timestamps in the description when I update it later for you guys. And then you guys can just get straight to the business if you guys don't like listening to my stories. But anyways, it was an interesting Halloween. We tried to go to a different spot that we heard about that was going to have some good candy, some good setup spots, for kids to enjoy trick-or-treating. So we drove up to northeast Scottsdale, Arizona, and a lot of the places were just not participating in Halloween this year. It was really sad. So, with that being said, we went to a different location. Our usual location we went to, by the way. Hi, everybody. Glad to have you here. So we went to our usual location and, it was packed as usual. It's always packed at that place. But we were able to find parking. Driving a 2007 Nissan Armada, it's a pretty big SUV to fit the family inside, and we found a very tiny parking space, but we made it work. We squeezed our SUV in that parking spot for dear life, and yeah, so everything turned out to be pretty chill. We parked, we got out, we went walking around. I did live stream on Facebook, on Instagram. I didn't do one on YouTube. But if you guys follow me on social platforms, the links are in the description too as well. If you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube, and you guys can see, we walked around for about good hour and 50 minutes, and this year people actually participated in the essence of Halloween in trick-or-treating. My kids got tricked at one house. So one house was giving out candy. My kids ended up getting Taco Bell hot sauce packets. They didn't realize they got it till they started going through their candy bucket to allow me to check their candy for them. And when I was doing my inspection, and then they pulled out the hot sauce packets, and they were like, "Why did they give us this?" And I had to break it down to my kids because they've never been tricked before on Halloween night when they went trick-or-treating. It's always been treats, never been tricked. So the family, shout out to that family for doing that. That's pretty cool. I remember going through that when I was a kid. But in my days growing up, I'm 42 years old, so this is way back. But when I used to go, my dad used to take me and my sister trick or treating. Some houses would either give us candy, or some houses would give us like these little tied up plastic bags that had like 3 pennies inside of it, or even a rock. Like they'll have like little pebble stones, and like they will always keep their hands cupped so you can't see what you would get, and then they would just like drop it into your bag or your bucket. So when you got home and you started sorting through all your candy, then you would find like the little pebble stones or marbles or pennies. Um, I didn't mind the pennies. They went straight into my piggy bank. I was always into saving up on my piggy bank, so yeah. um, but Halloween turned out to be pretty good. I was kind of sad because I couldn't wear my mask, my Halloween mask. There were a couple of people that were dressed up as Michael Myers as well, in that neighborhood that we were walking around. But my mask, I guess, can say was like the more premium quality mask. I wore it, and a total of 6 children cried. And I was like, man, I can't do this to children anymore. So I took the mask off. My kids were wondering why I wasn't wearing my mask anymore. I told them why. I was like, it was scaring little kids. Because you had other people dressed up as Michael Myers, but they had like, the little, it was like, the William Shatner white face. And then it had straps that, of course, you would just like put it over your head and it would lock the mask in place. And then the person's natural hair showed. This mask I had is a full mask, hair and everything. So, and it was based on the Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So it has like the gunshot wound on the top that when Laurie shot him in the head at the end of part 1. So it had that, and it had a real effect to it. I went ahead and put fake blood and everything, and so yeah, probably was not the move. So I ended up wiping all that stuff off. I was walking around, so then my wife felt bad. She's like, well, what are you gonna do? You're carrying the mask. I'm like, well, I had long hair, so I decided to pull my hair in front of my face and kind of look like Michael Myers from Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 when he was in the mental hospital. He had long hair, right? I was like, I'll just walk around with that, right, and carrying the mask. People are gonna get it. And then like one guy, like people are so juvenile today. One guy was like mean mugging me because he was Michael Myers. I was Michael Myers. So he whipped out his iPhone. He started playing the John Carpenter's theme. And I thought it was funny, so I decided to troll him. So every time I saw him, like I would take my phone out and I would play the Halloween Payback theme, which is the theme that's at the end of Halloween Kills, when Michael puts his mask on, and after the town folk beat the crap out of him, he ends up killing all of them. I started playing that theme, and I was being petty. Okay, I was being petty. I didn't have to participate in the juvenile stuff, but you know what? It was Halloween night. Like, why not? I can say so far I've been paying attention to the news over the last couple of days, and I am happy to say that there hasn't been one report of any kid getting sick off candy, of it being tainted or anything like that. So that's a good year for Halloween for us. That's always good to hear, because I don't want any kids getting sick. My kids do not touch their candy at all. Basically, whatever pieces of candy they want, like today, I know they're going to come in here later and be like, can you check my candy? And they'll bring the candy that they want me to check. Love my kids for that. Love that they're being, they're following, the rules, and they're being responsible about it, because, they haven't snuck any pieces of candy and eaten it on their own. Anything that they've wanted, they've given to me. So that's always, always a good thing. Yeah, so now we're in November. We got Thanksgiving coming up here at the end of the month. And so I am, still in that, that holiday cheer, that holiday effect, but it's now gone beyond the whole spooky season. Now we're at the point of, just that warm, good feeling you get over the holidays, over Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yesterday, my daughter watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She's never seen that movie before, ever. And it's one of my favorite, Thanksgiving holiday movies. And so she watched it. Now she's interested in John Candy as an actor. So I think later today, we're going to watch Uncle Buck. And there's another movie that we're going to watch with John Candy in it. But anyways, yeah. I think I've gathered on a little bit about all that non-technical stuff. Brian, welcome in. Yeah. So anyways, we're about to get into it. Like I said in the beginning, smash the like button because it does help me. And also the QR code for Helium Mobile has been fixed. So if anyone was using it and getting a 404 error code, It should work now. I'll get you directly to the sign up page to join up with Helium Mobile and then use my promo code to get your first month for free. So what I wanted to talk about in today's Sunday podcast, which is more of a chill podcast than more than anything else, really is just these changes that we've seen with Google. So I'm going to talk about Google's changes as far as the Google Pixel release dates and as well as the new time schedule for Android 16 and future Android releases. I am also going to be talking about if LTE is as obsolete as some people say, because there is that little tidbit of what's going on out there. Like people are just like all 5G focused, and then someone that's like, they still have an LTE phone and they get ripped for it. So I'm going to address that in this podcast today. Jeremy, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Georgia, San Joaquin Valley, glad to have you here as well. So let me go ahead and get the chat open up so people can see what's being said. And again, like I said, right there, QR code. And it's been fixed. I fixed the link. Shout out to Bragranta for letting me know that it wasn't working correctly. So hopefully those people that tried later were able to just use my promo code that's also in the description. If the QR code fails, just use my promo code in the description when you sign up, and that'll get you your first month for free. All right. Let's get into it. So as we've noticed this year, things have been a little bit different with Google. Google has, in fact, gone ahead and changed up the release date of the new Pixel devices, which affects both the flagships and the A series, right? So we are getting the A series, the Pixel 9a, I believe in Q2 of 2025, and that's also the same schedule cycle to release Android 16. So we'll get into that in a little bit down in the podcast, but was this a good move for Google to do? Like, was it smart of them to switch up from releasing Google Pixels in October to now releasing them in August, 2 months ahead of scheduled that we were used to? Now the new schedule is that in August is when we will start seeing the new Google Pixel flagship phones. And to me personally, I feel like that was a good move on Google's part. You've got Samsung that's got end of winter, beginning of spring. They released the new Galaxy S series. You got now Google releasing the Pixels in summer or at the end of summer into fall. And then Apple has the fall time slot to release new iPhones. So you kind of now got a spring Samsung, a summer Pixel, and a Apple fall. And now they got their respective times as to when they release new hardware as far as smartphones, because smartphones is the extension of the human body. Everybody uses a smartphone pretty much nowadays, which, kind of brought back this new thing that's happening that I'm seeing a lot of, and that is switching back over to dumb phones. Phones like this, people are actually switching back to kind of break away from being online 24/7 on their smartphones. There's actually a company that's run by a married couple that sells flip phones that are non-smartphones. They run something maybe like KaiOS. That's about as close to smartphone-ish as those flip phones get. But you got to deal with like the T9 texting on the numeric keypad. You got the end call, you got the power button, you got the two programmable buttons at the top, you got the D-pad and the OK button in the center of the D-pad. So it's gone back to like old school. But what a lot of people are really reporting about that is that they're getting a lot more production done, which we'll talk about later on in the podcast. But anyways, kind of getting off topic. So with Google making those changes, I think does good. The 9A also changed its schedule, like the A series change up happened. So we're not going to be seeing the Pixel 9A at Google I/O 2025. The Pixel 9a will be released before that. It's actually looking for a March 2025 release, which correlates with Android's new release date. So Android 16 coming in Q2. I'm going to go out on a whim and say it's going to launch either with the Pixel 9a or just a little bit before the Pixel 9a. But the way that Google is doing this now is Q1 will be a Pixel drop and security patch updates. Q2 will be a full software upgrade. So we're getting Android 16. That means that in 2026 of March, we'll get Android 17. So then in the summer, we'll get another Pixel drop of features and security patch updates. Q3, we'll get a minor update to the major software update. So if we're getting Android 16 in March, we're probably getting Android 16.1 or 0.2 or whatever minor refresh they're doing to the Android 16 software. We're getting that in Q3 of the year. And then Q4 will be Pixel feature drop and security patch. But technically the security patches will be every month. So January, February, March, April, you guys get the point. Security patches are every month. So that's 12 security patch updates in a year, 2 software updates in a year, and 4 Pixel drop features in a year. That is Google's new scheduling when it comes to how they're going to be doing things. And I think that's a pretty good schedule to have. First of all, getting Android 16 out before the Pixel 10 comes out means that not only do we get to experience Android 16 and kind of, test it out, and they get to get feedback from us about bugs, but this also means that when the Pixel 10 drops in August, it will drop with the latest Android software. And that the software would have had time to have had things corrected, fixed, and rebaked for that goodness of Android that we all love. Mind you, I also miss the little snack names that they used to emphasize. They still give it snack names. It still gets like a dessert name. It's just the dessert code name is not emphasized anymore by Google. They don't really go out of their way to tell you, Kit Kat, Oreo, key lime pie, lollipop, marshmallow, nougat, any of those. They don't go out of their way to do that anymore, but they still do, right? Because what was it for Android U? It was upside down pineapple cake. That was the dessert code name for it. Android 10, which was P, was codename Pie. I forgot what they did with Q. But yeah, we got upside down pineapple cake. We got tiramisu for Android T. It was tiramisu, upside down pineapple cake. I don't know what V was. I don't know what they called for V, but anyways. You're watching me on your Google Pixel 6a. Nice. Yeah, I gave my daughter my Pixel 6a, and I was going to put it back on stock Android so she can get Android 15, but then she told me that she wanted to keep the custom ROM on it. So she's still running Evolution X 9.3 on it, and she customizes everything about Android on her phone. So she's going nuts with that phone right now. So, but anyways, like I was saying, so what we could expect with this new scheduling of Android software release, whether security patch, Pixel feature drop, major update, or minor update. So we're actually getting 2 software updates a year. The major update, so going from like Android 15 to Android 16, is in March. Then we'll get like another minor update to Android 16 to hold us off until Android 17. And of course, the Android beta program will still be there. So if you wanted to like beta test 17, you can sign up for it. Just remember that it actually voids your warranty when it comes down to that. Refreshing. This Hydro Flask is actually pretty cool. So I filled it up with ice and water yesterday, and there's still about 8 cubes of ice still in here. It's been sitting at room temperature for literally all day yesterday and into this morning, and I still have ice cold water in it. So yeah, get you a Hydro Flask if you want to have like ice water for long periods of time. Anyways, for me, I have no problem with Google's changes to things. Taking over the summer spot to release their new smartphones, I think it's a good thing. It allows them to separate away from the other two and kind of have their own time. And the new updates to the software means that we'll get the newest version of Android before the newest hardware comes out. And because the Pixel 9a is slated to release March 2025, could actually mean that the next version of the A series actually would be like the beta test for the next version of Android before their flagships get released every year. So any bugs, issues, or anything like that like major bugs, they can get to it before their newest devices comes out, which has me excited anyways, because the Pixel 10 is slated to launch with the Tensor G5. The G5 not being developed and built alongside with Samsung's Exynos division, but they switched up and gone with TSMC to build their Tensor chip. Now, if you don't know TSMC, you're wondering what they build. They build Intel processors, so they know what they're doing when it comes to manufacturing processor chips, and so we can expect for a bit more better features from the Tensor G5. Like the Tensor chips, I've never really had a problem with, but other people who want a more powerful device are obviously going to have a problem with the Tensor G4 and older because of performance compared to the Snapdragon processor chips, like the Snapdragon 8 Gen series. As far as power-wise, gaming and stuff like that, that chip will do very well. The Tensor does good too. It's not horrible. Like I don't open a game and it looks like I'm playing freaking Mega Man from 1985. It doesn't look like that. The graphics and the gameplay don't feel like that. But people tend to want to really use a powerful processor when it comes to mobile phone gaming, and I understand that. So we'll see what happens with the Tensor G5 as more info drops about it. We got a little bit more information on the Pixel 9a. Nothing that's like, different from what I said before, just a little bit more clarity on the release of the Pixel 9a, what to expect from it. Still no pricing leak just yet. And, we'll probably see like maybe pricing start to leak maybe about, end of January, between mid-January, end of January, maybe the earliest late December. We should probably start hearing some noise about the pricing of the Pixel 9a, if it's going to be released at a $499 price tag, or if it's going to be, if they're going to want, if the price is going to go up more. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But other than that, as far as the rumors of the design, the way that it looks, those tend to be true. The fact is of, using, a different modem than the modem that's in the Pixel 9 flagship series. That's a little bit of a bummer, but we'll have to see how that modem works out, because it's supposed to be the same modem that's in the Pixel 8a. So yeah, I'll leave it right now to you guys to tell me, with all these changes to Google changing when they're releasing the Android software updates and giving us a more definitive what to expect of an Android software update, whether it's going to be a major update, a minor update, a pixel feature drop, or a security patch. Now that we know what to expect around certain times of the year, was that a good idea for them to not only change when they release it, but to also release that information to all of us so we know? Secondly, are you guys okay with basically the Google Pixels taking over the summer block time of releasing, their latest flagship devices, including their new foldable that they're now focused on as well? Let me know in the comments if you're a replay watcher. But for you guys off here in the chat, sound off and let me know. There's no wrong answer. Don't be shy. Say what you want to say about it. You think it's good or bad, like it or not. Go ahead. Right before I switch into the next subject, which I'll be talking about if LTE is really obsolete, and I'll give you guys my thoughts about it. And I'm not one of the the network tester gurus that do a lot of speed testing. I am interested in it. I do follow it. I do read up on it, but I don't necessarily believe you have to have 5G. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. So go ahead and sound off in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll put this back up again. While I'm waiting, before I switch up subjects here, the QR code has been fixed. Well, that way has been fixed. The QR code's been fixed. Again, shout out to Braganta for letting me know that it was messed up. Also, if you guys want to cop a Team Nexus Team Pixel shirt, you guys still have it right there. Scan that QR code. I'll take you to the shop, to the storefront. You guys can buy that. I have t-shirts just like that. Well, that is a t-shirt, but I have the t-shirts. I also have hoodies like this with that graphics on it. Also long sleeve t-shirts. I have that there too. So yeah, if you're a big fan of the Google Pixels, or even if you're a fan of the Nexus, okay, this shirt represents Team Nexus, Team Pixel. So copy one, and then represent with pride. For sure. But the QR code for Helium Mobile has been fixed. So if you do scan it, it will bring you to the join up page to join up with Helium Mobile. And if you guys did not catch my video, I break it down to everybody, like basically how I make my Helium Mobile service a free phone service for me. Now, I can't guarantee that this will last forever because Helium is subject to change. They can change that aspect of it 5 years from now, but as of right now, you can have free phone service with Helium Mobile. That way. Just scan the QR code. The camera's like, oh, mirrored. So if I'm pointing this way where I see it from my end, it's pointing away from it. So right here. But yeah, catch that video after the podcast and you guys will learn how I do it. I show you as much as I can in that video of how I got things set up. The only thing I couldn't do is the prepaid part. I have to do that video later to show you guys how I prepay with Helium Mobile. Once I've accumulated enough rewards to do it, I'm going to prepay December's bill. And I'll screen record when I do that, just so you guys can see how that looks. But yes, essentially, you can have free phone service that you don't have to pay out of pocket for with Helium Mobile. And that's the reason, one of the major reasons that I'm backing them is because everything costs so much today. Everything costs quite a bit. Literally, everything costs so much. Like I got steak and grilled Halloween night. And yeah, just, for 3 T-bones was $71. Okay, that's what it costs to fill up a tank of gas in my SUV. Luckily, my wife and I got a second vehicle, which is gas friendly. So now we only fill up basically twice a week, and it costs us like $28 to fill up the tank. So, basically like almost $100, almost $50, almost $50 to fill it up. Well, more than $50, like 52. Sorry, my math is not mathing right now. 56. Sorry, what the? $56 a week to fill up, and with my SUV, which is a Nissan Armada. I pay like about 120 to 130 a week to fill it up. So yeah, go figure. Everything costs so much. So that's the reason that I back Helium Mobile. That's the reason why that I share this code out. That's the reason why that I trying to hook everybody up with the first month for free is, for them to test out the network and see how it works out for them. And, it runs on the T-Mobile network primarily. If your city has people that has the Helium hotspots deployed, then you will connect to their hotspots before connecting to the T-Mobile network. If you're connected to the hotspots, data is unlimited. If you're pulling from T-Mobile's data, it's 30 gigs of priority data. However, to explain how their throttling works, because their throttle is not the same as other carriers. When you reach 30 gigs, your speeds are slowed down to 1 megabit per second by 1 megabit per second. And the speeds stay that way from 30 gigs to 39 gigs. When you hit 40 gigs, that's when it's slowed down to 512 kilobits per second. So you still get slightly decent speeds, close to 3G speeds, when you cross 30 gigs of data. But if you're connected to like home Wi-Fi, you can make 30 gigabytes of data last, honestly. I am currently sitting at 8.8 gigabytes of usage, and my bill is due in 3 days. So anyhow, all right. So I think we've just spent a little bit more time on that. Does Helium Mobile work good in Ohio? Does T-Mobile work good in Ohio? See, that's the question. Like I just said, it runs on T-Mobile's network. That's who they have an MVNO partner agreement with. They do roam on other carriers, but they primarily connect to T-Mobile's network unless people have the Helium hotspot deployed. And if you want to know more about that, check out my other videos I've done on Helium Mobile, and you'll get all the details. Watch them through. I can see how much of my videos people watch when I go into YouTube Studios. And if I post a 5-minute video, I see average watch times around 2 minutes. If people would just watch the whole thing from beginning to end, a lot of your questions you may have will be answered because I would have said it in that video. So just check it out. Yeah, check the coverage match for T-Mobile, as Brian Lau said. So, anyways, we'll get back to the chat here. But yeah, I run right now currently Helium Mobile on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. I run Google Fi on my Pixel 4 XL. Both are LTE devices, which is the next subject that I want to talk about. Is this thing that I see, like, not everybody's doing it, but there are people out there that are just like, why are you still on LTE? Why are you still on 4G? You need 5G. Like, look, okay, let me break something down. The reason why it's important for you guys to be able to utilize the 5G network is because the taxes that you pay when you pay your bill, like when you're paying the company, that money is going towards them building out the network, right? So it's kind of like if you're paying for it, but you're not using it, then you're not getting your money's worth type of thing. Like, I get that analogy, not analogy, but I get that reasoning of things. But I still don't feel like that people have to rush out and get a 5G phone just yet. Okay, one of the reasons why I would in the future suggest getting a newer device, obviously, is because security wise things will go obsolete on the older phones. Like, security wise, I have to make sure that I'm very secure with my Pixel 4 XL, because the security level is not the same as what's a current day device on Android 15. It still has security, and if there is a major security, I know Google will release a software update to the Pixel 4 XL for it to take to fix that issue, because they do know that there are still people using the Pixel 4 XL. As crazy as that might sound, it's not like 2 or 3 people in the entire world are using a Pixel 4 XL. I have seen more Pixel 4 XLs in use in my city, and I live in the 5th largest city in the United States. I've seen people with Pixel 4 XL still till today. I honestly feel like that Google Pixel devices should not have stopped getting security patch software updates. Like, yes, you don't have to put it on Android 15. You don't have to give it the latest Pixel feature drop, but at least continue the security software patches. Like, those shouldn't be that hard for them to do. I digress. That's for another video. But LTE is still capable. I mean, there are some places where carriers that have 5G connectivity still, they use non-standalone 5G, which means that in theory, in part way, that connection still relies on an LTE core. So LTE is not obsolete. Okay, if you're somebody that wants gigabit speeds, then yes, you're gonna have to go the 5G routes. You're gonna have to get a 5G capable phone that has millimeter wave access. So if it's a 5G phone that says sub 6 gigahertz only, then that's not going to connect to millimeter wave. You need something that's going to go beyond 6 gigahertz. So you would definitely need something that is millimeter wave compatible to be able to connect to that bandwidth. Even though, like, it's super fast though, millimeter wave, it's not as dependable. I think that's like the best way I would describe that. It's not as dependable, which is the reason why you see a lot of the network tech reviewers. They're really primarily focused on mid-band 5G. They're focused on N77, whether it's the 3.4 gigahertz N77, or I think it's the 3.9 or 3.7 gigahertz. They're focused on that. They're focused on mid-band because mid-band does deliver pretty fast speeds, but it also has signal penetration, right? So you can pick up N77 inside my room. Okay, like with millimeter wave, if there's like a tower across the street with millimeter wave and that big tree that's in the front of my property, that would obstruct the connection to gaining gigabit per second speeds. So this is why that a lot of them are still primarily focused on N77. This is why you're seeing talks about, is T-Mobile going to build out N77 on their end? Because they're reliant on N41. And N41 is pretty fast, but it's got its ups and downs. So yes, in the future, 5G is definitely going to be very important for people to have, especially for the things that we want to be able to do with mobile technology, right? Like, we're not there yet. We're not in the Star Wars realm where we're going to have holographic phone calls, but we might in the future. And that's a lot of data information to transfer in like milliseconds. So just to keep like a virtual 3D image, I guess you could say, holographic image of a person, and that type of communications, yeah, it's going to require a lot of data use. So eventually we will need it. But as of right now, I would say LTE is not obsolete. you can still get by on LTE. You can still Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify off of LTE. No problem at all. And on top of that, there is talks of fixed wireless access, which is home internet, to possibly deploy a home internet gateway that transmits millimeter wave data. So that would be pretty cool. Gigabit per second internet. It's beta test. It's beta testing right now. I think maybe only a very small amount of people are going to get access to this to test out before it's like rolled out. But you guys know where my stance is on LTE. You guys know where I stand on things, and that's lately I'm not in a rush to tell anyone to upgrade. Just at this point, people can still enjoy the devices until they either break or they stop running. But I see some of you guys here. Georgia San Joaquin Valley says, I have a 5G phone, the Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. I set it to LTE only. 5G is still new. 5G has bugs in it, which makes it unstable. Yeah, in some places, depending on how the tower is built and what type of equipment that's used, if they use Ericsson panels, if they use Nokia panels, of course, that is going to play in a stable connection on 5G. But on top of that, it's what bandwidth is being deployed in those areas makes all the difference. And so, yeah, you're right. The greatest reasons that even with the 5G phone that I have, I turn it off onto LTE only is battery. I get more battery life out of my phone when it's being connected to LTE because it's not powering the antenna to maintain a stable connection. That's one thing that people got to understand is that if the data connection to the tower that you have is not stable, your phone's battery is going to be depleted very quickly because all the phone registers is that the signal is weak. So it diverts more power from your battery to the antenna to try and lock that connection. It's like trying to lock your fingers together. Okay. If you have, a weak grip and you can feel that's being pulled apart, well, naturally the hand that's losing grip is going to strengthen the muscle to hold. And that's the same thing like with battery. It's going to eat that battery pretty fast. You don't have to take my word for it. You can literally test it out. One day, use your 5G phone. If you have like an iPhone, go into your settings and set it to 5G on, not 5G auto. So don't let it teeter between LTE and 5G. Just keep it locked on 5G. Go throughout your day as you would normally do and watch your battery depletion and then charge it up overnight. Take it off 5G, put it on LTE only, and then go through your day with the same things that you do with your phone. And then watch the battery deplete. And you're going to see that with LTE, it doesn't deplete as fast as it will connected to 5G. Because LTE is refined. It's robust. We've had it for a while and they have built upon it and expanded upon it. And now when we do get upgrades to towers, it's upgrades to transmit a different bandwidth that yields, faster speeds, right? Like when you look back in the day, 7-8 years ago with LTE, you would do a speed test, you would get like 40 megabits per second or less. You look at LTE today and you're seeing speed test results that are like 100 megabits, 200 megabits. I've seen LTE speed tests pull 400 megabits per second or less. That's LTE. And then the uplinks are like 50 megabits per second nowadays to like 90 megabits per second nowadays. So we've seen LTE evolve and gotten so much better that the need for 5G is not a true need. I don't care if someone wants to argue with me about it because they're such big backers of 5G. I'm not downplaying the capabilities and what the future holds of 5G network connectivity. All I'm saying is, as of today, is that it is not detrimental to have an LTE phone. It does not require anybody that they have to have a 5G phone. That's all I'm saying today. That's the answer to all of it. Brian says my visible service is LTE. It is LTE a lot of times still. Yeah. I dropped my Pixel 6 Pro the other day. My audio kept playing and there was no cracks, but the display no longer works. Maybe the ribbon cable popped out or something frustrating. Cost of fixing it is basically the same price as buying a used one from Amazon renewed, unless I can figure out how to fix it. I would say if you have a kit that can actually take the display off, and you have one of those anchor uh, display seals to reseal the phone, then yeah, take it apart and look and see. Maybe the cable did pop out. But if the digitizer is sapped and gone, then yeah, there's no point in trying to salvage and fix it unless you buy a replacement display yourself. If you do the repair yourself, it's actually way cheaper. Um, which I will also say this: I did drop a video. It's not that popular. I know not a lot of people watched it, but it pretty much just talks about the Google Store. So I'm actually going to pull that up right now and see what I can see at the Google Store about the whole refurbished section. I don't like the pricing on them. So the Google Pixel 6 series and 7 series, refurbished from Google, to me just is like, let's see if we see it on here. Let's browse phones. Okay, where is the new refurbished section? They don't make it easy to find. Let me just do. Let's see if we got like a direct link to it. Oh, here we go. Certified. There we go. All right, I'm going to screen share this with y'all. All right, here we go. So here's a website. Let me put this in the chat so you guys can save the link for later if you guys want to look yourselves. But anyways, here it is. So store.google.com/magazine/refurbish_devices. Anyways, so renewed and ready to go. Certified refurbished Pixel phones. Now find your pre-loved Pixel. So you got the Pixel 7 Pro refurbished. Is $629. Pixel 7 is $429. Refurbished Pixel 6 Pro $539. Pixel 6 refurbished $339, and then Pixel 6a refurbished $249. And they don't have any other Pixels beyond that. Oh yeah, at 1 a.m. in the morning, man, probably half asleep and just, it just dropped. It happens. Life happens, right? Yeah, they are quite fragile. Yeah, the flagship ones are. They are. I would consider them fragile, which is why I like my Pixel 7. Gotta case it up, even if I want to show off, like the sheer design of it without a case. Gotta case it up when I go out. Yeah, these price points, they don't make sense. And here's why. Like, one day I'll make a video on how I do OfferUp, how I buy devices on OfferUp, including, and I'll let the person that I'm buying it from in the messages know that I'm making a video and if they're okay being on video with me. And I'll show you guys how I negotiate to get pricing for phones that I want. And that's how I get a lot of these phones that, I'm like, hey, I've just picked this up and it's used, but it's still in great condition. Get them from OfferUp. That's how I get my phones. Anyways, I got, like I said, I got the Pixel 7 at a very decent price. It was like less than $200. I got the Pixel 7 and they want $429 for it. I've seen Pixel 7 Pros in great condition from sellers that are like asking price $300 for the 7 Pro. For a 6 Pro, I'm seeing like $249. People are asking for. Some people have these phones and they just, they don't want to keep them for backups, so they sell them. And I usually haggle with them on their asking price. I never buy phones on OfferUp for the asking price, unless they're the only one I've seen it in 6 months. Like if they're the only one that I see that's selling it, I will save it in my quick save folder on OfferUp and wait. I'll keep checking like every week to see if they've dropped the price themselves or if it's been sold. If it's been sold, oh well, it's been sold. But if it's still in my quick save folder and I go back to the their advertisement for sale and say like they were selling like a Pixel 8 for $400 and it's been on sale, no one's inquired about it with them, they will drop the prices. So they may drop it down to like $379. When they hit $350 is where I'll kind of haggle them. So they'll say $350 for it. I'll message them like, hey, I'm interested in buying your Pixel 8, but I will offer $290 for it. And they'll tell me no, they want $350, or they'll go $340, $345. Eventually, I'll try to get it anywhere between $305 to my most would be $315. And the reason why is because technically, if they bring it to me, they're getting gas money out of it. Now, if the person says you must pick up only, then my cap out point for the Pixel 8 will be $300. That's the most that I'll spend. If they don't agree with me on $300 and they still want more for it, I'm not desperate. I'll thank them for at least hearing my offer and wish them luck on getting it sold. By doing that, there's only been a few times that I've had somebody a week later say, hey man, are you still interested in my item? Because I'll sell it to you for what you're asking for it. And I could be a dick about it and be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, but I'm feeling now $20 less than what I offered last time. I wouldn't do that to them. If they reach back to me and say, hey, they still have it, and if I'm still interested, yeah, I'm still interested, and where can we meet? I'll buy it at the price that I offered. Because they already, pretty much admitted defeat. They couldn't find someone to get it at their asking price, so they know that I was interested, so they're coming to me now in hopes that I'm still interested, so I will work with them. But that's how I get a lot of the smartphones that I get. Unless I do an unboxing, if it's an unboxing, it's a brand new phone. But if I just pop a video like, hey guys, just pick me up an iPhone 11 Pro Max, there's no unboxing on my channel about unboxing an iPhone 11 Pro Max. Obviously, I got it on OfferUp. This one right here, iPhone 11 Pro Max, is only the 64 gig model. Most people are selling theirs for like $300. I got that phone for $180. The person was originally asking for $250 and I haggled them down to $180. Yeah, so that's like the crazy thing about it. But anyways, before I close up, if you guys want to talk about like how your guys' Halloween was, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give it another couple of minutes here and then I'm going to go for the rest of the day. Got some things to do with my kids. So yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and get something going for today. And also to remind everybody that the QR code is fixed for the Helium Mobile get 1 month free promo. So again, shout out to Berganta for letting me know that it was broken. If you guys want to know why he let me know, it's because he used it. So I haven't asked him if he fully got it set up. I just know that he was interested in using it. So by him telling me that, I was able to get the QR code fixed. So now the QR code will work if people scan it and want to sign up with Helium Mobile and get a month free. There you go. My gift to you guys for checking out the podcast. And so that's pretty much it. I'm going to call it a day. Not that long of a live stream. I appreciate everyone that's come in today to hang out. Michael C, thanks for coming here and hanging out. Brian Lau, that we had in the building as well. We had Joys of San Joaquin Valley up in here, so glad to have you guys here. And yes, so everyone that came in, Jeremy. If I mispronounced your name, if I butchered, I'm sorry. Sinky J Mac is how I would say it, but if I got it wrong, I apologize. But thanks for being in here as well. You guys are amazing. If you guys followed me on social media and you guys saw the live streams of, like the whole Halloween with my kids and everything, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. My social accounts are in the description if you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube. I give you guys a sneak peek of my life through there, but yeah. I was thinking about making some ugly sweaters for Halloween. Last story I'll leave you guys with before I go. I got punched by my wife. Because I was like, we should make ugly sweaters for Christmas. And she was like, it was a good idea and everything. And because I heard this joke on the radio the other day, so I told it to her. But she thought I was being serious about the ugly sweaters, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, we'll make ugly sweaters, and so she was like, what do you want on yours? And I'm like, well, I want mine to say I come in peace. And she was like, oh, that's funny. She's like, what do you think I should put on mine? And I'm like, oh, you should put peace on yours. And it went over her head for like 5 minutes. Okay. Yes, it's a dirty joke. I got it. I like to troll my wife and have fun with her sometimes. You know what I mean? So when she finally got it, that mine would say, I come in peace, and hers would say peace. And then she decked me in the arm, and I had a dead arm Charlie horse for like 10 minutes, and it hurt like shit. But I like to joke around with my wife and make her laugh and everything like that, which is like the non-tech advice I leave you guys with today. Those who have, significant others or are married, and that is, laughter is one of the successful keys to a great long-lasting relationship. If you can still make your partner laugh, you have a fighting chance of keeping a relationship going. I know this. My relationship with my wife has had ups and downs, but we are hitting 16 years soon. We've been together that long. And people can make it work if they put in the effort. So going forward with these podcasts, when I end them, I will always leave one non-tech advice for people to kind of take away, just to, just to kind of just something non-tech. She works too many hours to notice. Yeah, she does. I'm actually happy for her because she's transferring to another store this week. So, and I know she's very happy because she got the transfer approved. She just couldn't leave the current store that she was at until they hired someone to replace her in the position that she works at that store. Her and the store director do not get along. They bump heads quite a bit, and he's a total jackass. I've had to stop myself several times from kicking his ass for the way that he speaks to my wife. So she got approval to go to another store, and they just got word that she's leaving this week to her new store. So she's very excited. I'm happy for her. It is what it is. I took the time that I needed to kind of, deal with the year anniversary of my mother passing. So, I heard it was money. Nah, she's not getting a raise or anything like that. I wish. That would be cool, but no. She stays at a fixed rate for her job title. But anyways, I dealt with, my mom's her anniversary, 1 year anniversary after passing away. You know what? I'd rather not talk too much about that just because I don't want to bring up those feelings. But let me just say that everyone that gave me, just those wishful messages on social media and stuff like that, thank you guys so much. It does help me out. I don't want you guys to think it doesn't. I've read every one of them. The comments on Facebook I've read. And you know what? I acknowledge what you guys said in your comments, and I love you guys for it. And it did help. It did help me. It helped me get over the funk of being a year without, my mother being here anymore. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that is it for today's episode. If you guys enjoyed it, please don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. I appreciate you guys. Share this on other social platforms so more and more people can discover me. And I will talk to you on the next one. I love you guys very much. Glad you guys had a safe Halloween. And this month, I'll be sharing with you guys what I'm most thankful for. Starting with the next podcast. Aloha.